Hello, everyone. This is AI Crypto Insights, your AI analyst speaking. Just a quick reminder, this breakdown is for educational reference only and doesn't constitute any investment advice. As you know, crypto investing carries high risk. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating story from Forbes by Alicia Park. It's called How Kalshi's co-founder went from professional ballerina to world's youngest self-made woman billionaire. It's an incredible story of discipline and market disruption, and we're going to get you all the key insights in just a few minutes.
The journey to becoming the world's youngest self-made woman billionaire, it usually starts in a pretty predictable place, right? Like a coding boot camp or a Stanford dorm room. But for Luana Lopes Laura, it all started on a stage, in the unbelievably demanding world of professional ballet. And this quote, wow, it just reveals the sheer intensity of her training. This wasn't just about dance. This was a trial by fire. Think about it. Training every day from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., and that's after a full morning of classes. This kind of environment didn't just teach her technique. It forged an almost unbreakable discipline and resilience. And here's what really captures the duality of her ambition. While she's mastering these punishing physical routines, her mind was competing on a completely different stage. She was out there winning gold medals in Astronomy Olympiads and bronze in Math Olympiads. All of it was fueled by this desire to be like the great tech titans, like Steve Jobs. So you had the ballerina with the mind of an engineer.
So, after a professional stint dancing in Austria, she decided to hang up her point shoes and make a huge pivot. The next stage for her? Well, it was one of the world's top tech universities, MIT. And this is where that physical discipline from her past slammed right into the intellectual rigor that would totally define her future.
At MIT, she didn't just crush it academically. She dove headfirst into the heart of finance, doing internships at giants like Bridgewater and Citadel. And it was right there, alongside her classmate Tariq Mansour, that the core idea for Kalshi was born. They saw these traders trying to price external events, elections, natural disasters, into their models. And their question was so simple: why not just trade the event itself?
So, what in the world is a prediction market? Well, think of it like a stock market, but for events. Instead of buying shares in a company, you buy contracts based on a simple yes or no question about the future. Like, will inflation hit a certain target? Will a specific movie win an Oscar? If you're right, the contract pays out. It's a way to trade directly on what you think is going to happen.
And this is where the story gets really, really interesting. Because look, having a brilliant idea for a new financial product, that's one thing. Actually getting permission from the US government to launch it, well, that is a whole other level of challenge. So how on earth did they pull it off?
This challenge basically became the central conflict of their whole journey. They weren't just building some tech product. They were taking on a regulatory system that is famously resistant to change. This kicked off a 2-year all-or-nothing battle for their company's very survival.
I mean, the odds were just stacked against them. They get into the super prestigious Y Combinator, and then, get this, they were turned down by more than 40 law firms. 40! All of them thought a couple of recent grads had absolutely no chance. So for 2 whole years, they had nothing. No product, no revenue. As Lara herself said, if they failed to get that approval, the company would literally go to zero.
This metaphor just perfectly captures the stakes. Their approach couldn't be Silicon Valley's usual move fast and break things. No way. It had to be all about precision, patience, and navigating this powerful, totally unpredictable partner, the federal government. One misstep, one wrong argument, and the entire dream was over.
And here we see that direct link right back to her past. A key investor from Andreessen Horowitz, one of the most respected VCs in the world, pinpoints her ballet training as the source of her elegant persistence, that ability to endure pain, to hold a pose, to repeat a movement thousands of times. That's the exact same resilience she brought to that regulatory fight.
So, this is the crucial point. Even after they got their initial license, the fight was not over. When the CFTC, their own regulator, blocked their plans for contracts on the 2024 election, they did the unthinkable. Against the advice of their own investors, they sued the US government. And in September 2024, a federal judge ruled in their favor. They actually made history.
Okay, so after winning that grueling multi-year war, the floodgates just burst open. The victory in the regulatory arena was followed by a period of absolutely explosive growth in the market.
Just look at the timeline of their valuation to see what happened next. The company didn't just grow, it multiplied from $2 billion to $5 billion, and then more than doubling again in just a few months. This is the kind of hypergrowth that defines a brand new market leader.
And that brings us to today, an $11 billion valuation. This puts both Luana Lopes Laura and Tariq Mansour firmly in the Billionaires Club and makes Lara the youngest self-made woman billionaire on the entire planet.
And now, look at this chart. This right here shows you why investors are so excited. It's not just about the valuation, it's about real, actual user activity. Since just July of last year, Kalshi's nominal trading volume has surged by 8 times. 8 times! It hit nearly $6 billion in November alone. That's some serious momentum.
So who's backing this vision? Well, it's a roll call of Silicon Valley royalty. We're talking Paradigm, Sequoia, A16Z, Y Combinator. When you see names like these on a cap table, it signals immense institutional confidence that this isn't just a fad, but the future of a whole new financial asset class.
But of course, with success this big, you're never going to be alone for long. Kalshi is now in a high-stakes race to totally dominate the rapidly growing prediction market space.
Let's do a little side-by-side with their main rival, Polymarket. Now, Kalshi's key advantage has always been its fully regulated U.S. status, right from the very start. Polymarket, which is blockchain-based, initially operated in a bit of a gray area and even got fined by the CFTC before finally getting approval. What's super interesting, though, is that while Kalshi saw over $500 million bet on the election, Polymarket saw way higher volume, which just goes to show how enormous this market can be.
You see, Kalshi's strategy isn't just to be a standalone website. No, they're embedding themselves right into the fabric of modern finance. They've got integrations with retail brokerage apps like Robinhood, they're securing deep liquidity from huge trading firms like Susquehanna, and they're even expanding into the crypto world through a partnership with Solana. They're not just building a product, they're building an entire ecosystem. And this quote from Lara just says it all. The ambition here isn't just to build the biggest prediction market. The vision is to compete with the CME Group or the New York Stock Exchange. They see these event contracts as a fundamental new asset class, and they plan to be the #1 exchange for it globally. Which leaves us with a final, really fascinating question. As these markets grow and grow, are they becoming a kind of crystal ball that can actually predict what's coming next? Or are they just a powerful mirror reflecting our collective hopes and fears and biases right back at us? It's definitely something to think about as this whole new financial world takes shape.
So the key takeaway here is pretty clear. Resilience that's forged in extreme discipline can help you overcome seemingly impossible regulatory barriers to create entirely new markets. What do you think about the future of prediction markets? Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.